All right, good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Holbrook. Welcome to the first little edition of your build quality updates here. So obviously we've got quite a bit accomplished. So since we had that build quality introduction, we've essentially got the foundation poured and we've also got most of the framing completed already. I would say we're about halfway through your framing. As the house sits right now, they just got the trusses hung yesterday, so now they're up there getting the roof decking and everything started. They've got the exterior sheathing pretty much wrapped up, so that's good to go. So the first inspection that you guys are going to go through from the municipality from the framing standpoint is going to be your sheathing and strapping inspection. So essentially what I'm concerned about, what I need to be paying attention to, is nailing patterns. From a code standpoint, there's specific nailing patterns that these guys are supposed to be using in their sheathing, so that's something that I'm going to go around and inspect from that standpoint. So when I do call that inspection in, I know I'm not wasting their time. So that's something that as we continue on through framing the exterior of the house and then we kind of shift our focus to the inside of the house, that's something that I'm going to be looking out for over the next couple days here, so we can get that called in for inspection. I imagine we'll probably be done. We should be pretty much wrapped up with this one by the end of next week for sure. Once they get it to a point where they're about 98% complete, that allows me to be able to come in and essentially conduct my inspection on the house. So I'll get inside. I've already pretty much done everything on the outside as far as my inspection purposes go. We'll get through that sheathing inspection. And then from the inside of the house, I know it doesn't look like much right now. You got a bunch of wall braces and stuff up. But as we get into next week, those will start coming down. We get that roof decking installed and they will be able to take all the wall braces down. It looks a little bit more like a house inside here. But essentially what I'll be paying attention to from the inside of the house is obviously my #1 priority is to make sure structurally we're building the house according to the options that you've essentially selected. So that's what we'll be working on going into next week. And then I've also got your message from your third-party inspector. So as soon as we get to a point around that rough-in stage, right around that build quality orientation time frame, we're going to give them a call and they're going to be able to come in and conduct their rough inspection on the house. Once we get that inspection report, if they find any deficiencies in the house, we'll be able to make sure we get those taken care of before we go into sheetrock. So we'll be looking forward to that. Other than that, it's pretty much what we've been up to this week, and then moving into next week is just working on framing. Hopefully by the end of next week when we get you another video update here, we'll have a little bit more to show you, some cool stuff. One of the things I always like to talk about, you know, when we get to this stage, is our mechanical fastening. So something that you'll see all along the exterior of the house, or the bottom sill plate that you see right here, is all these little straps that are installed. We call these MOSSIS straps. So this is kind of the first step in securing the bottom plate to the actual foundation of the home. And then it is typically coupled with some straps on the outside of the house, like these. We call those hurricane straps. They're STHD straps if you want the actual nomenclature of them. But essentially they're hurricane straps, so a little bit beefier than your MOSSIS straps, but that's kind of step one of creating that continuous tie down all the way from the bottom plate to the top plate. So obviously once you get upstairs, it's going to look a little bit different up there as far as your tie-ins with your trusses, but that's essentially our goal. We want to make sure that the house is engineered per our specifications to make sure that we can actually meet those wind ratings that the house is engineered for. So that's essentially step one into making sure that we can accomplish that. So pretty cool stuff. That's something that we'll be able to elaborate on a little bit more around that build quality orientation time frame if you guys have more questions about that, without going into a whole bunch of over detail about what exactly those straps do. But of course, if you guys have any questions about anything that you've seen here, feel free to reach out, call, text, shoot me an email, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Other than that, we're just gonna continue mission here, and like I said, we'll be framing on into next week. So that's all I've got for you this week. I will see you guys on your next update.